Well, you might call it another independence package of nationwide, coming from the nation's capital territory, Abuja. My name is Ogechi Paul. You're welcome. Well, the need for balance, social justice, and involvement of more younger Nigerians in the business of governance echoed on Good Morning Nigeria as guests reviewed Nigeria at 57. They agree that the unity of the country and her continuous existence as one entity is not negotiable, urging groups with genuine agitations and constitutional amendments to channel them through the National Assembly. Lydia Sampson has the report.
Minister of Information and Culture Lai Mohammed affirmed that the present administration has recorded positive improvement in every sector since it assumed office. However, he noted that it will take time for Nigerians to appreciate ongoing infrastructural development across the country due to prolonged chain of decay recorded in the past. He emphasized the need to back wild allegations with facts and figures and decried the demeaning of achievements by opponents for selfish reasons.
This government, after 5 months of consecutive negative growth, came out of recession. And the most important thing about coming out of this recession is that this is a recession, this is a recovery that was led by the non-oil sector, which means that the government's emphasis on non-oil sector in diversifying the economy is working. Again, if you look at what this government inherited and where we are today, it will be clear that this government has remained focused and its solutions are working.
What we need to do is for us citizens, to, especially those in leadership positions, to also think patriotic enough. Where we need to advise government, we could say, this is what the government needs to do. But where there is no need to cry foul, we shouldn't, because it simply creates tension across the land and the country.
On the clamor for restructuring, some guests say the term means different things to people based on their demand. Others are of the view that Nigeria's challenge is an elite issue, with a few of them turned conflict entrepreneurs.
The unity and peace of this country is not in doubt at all. So when elites are talking about the peace, unity, and stability of this country being threatened, they're only talking about their own personal interests.
We need new ideas. We need the younger generation to play more role.
The guests commended President Muhammadu Buhari's independence broadcast to the nation and called on Nigerians to key into the diversification program of government, which brought the country out of recession. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
And just before the agitation for self-rule began, the founding fathers of Nigeria had a dream that can best encapsulate a vision that is sustainably on a mission. How far have we held on to that dream 57 years after independence and still counting? Ominudin has a report.
The peoples of Nigeria must at the same time be guaranteed their freedom.
It shows that there's one country with the strength of its conviction which not only denounces genocide, but at the same time espouses the right of people to self-determination.
We shall never impose ourselves upon any other country and shall treat every African territory, big or small, as our equal, because we honestly feel that it is only on that basis of equality that peace can be maintained in our continent.
Besides convincing the colonial master that Nigeria was capable of managing her own affairs, the founding fathers agreed that Nigeria had reached a turning point, being a solid foundation as a people. They were able to juxtapose the principle that independence implied a great deal more than self-rule.
All other amenities that would have been provided to make Nigeria great, the platform was put in place.
I believe they wanted unity. I believe they wanted oneness in bringing Nigeria together.
They had an idea which they hope that will nurture into a nation that will give each and every citizen a sense of belonging.
And they make sure that politicians, no matter the manifesto or the agenda that you have, it is being
factored into their institutional framework.
That they feel that all these facets of potentials, economic potentials of this country can be harnessed, totally for the benefit of the people of Nigeria.
In the lines of the old national anthem, it says, though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians are proud to serve their fatherland. Are we up to the bidding?
We have been able to still hold this country one, despite the tumult, the stormy weather, and the crisis that we face as a nation.
We need to strengthen our institutional framework in line with what the Constitution says.
Our mindset, value orientation is a yardstick for us to sustain the unity of Nigeria. Indeed, the opinion is that the indivisibility of Nigeria remains sacrosanct. In Abuja, Ominiudan, NT News.
Yeah, well, as Nigeria marks her 57th independence anniversary, this report is a vivid reminder of the path the nation has trod in her relationship with some of our friendly nations, the impact and the gains. Chancellor Mekiye reflects on the 2 years of Muhammadu Buhari administration.
Pre-independence Nigeria has a history of total dependence on the metropolitan nations as investors generated wealth in Africa only to repatriate to their homelands. After independence, Nigeria, in her attempt to change the narrative, developed new economic plans for restructuring of international relations to assert national sovereignty over her resources at home. Few months after President Muhammadu Buhari came to power, he entered into some bilateral economic agreements with countries like Saudi Arabia and Qatar to push for the stability of falling oil prices in the international markets.
Plans for the Qatar Chamber of Commerce and Industry to visit Nigeria to see things for themselves. And that will be the beginning of many things to come.
There's a Nigerian that has invested about over $300 million in oil exploration in Juba. So we continue to support that, not only him, but other Nigerian investors.
In March 2016, Nigeria and Equatorial Guinea signed an agreement for the establishment of a combined maritime policing aimed at curbing piracy and crude oil thefts. Several agreements have also been signed with China and Brazil, which are expected to impact the economy.
What's impressive is that it represents quite a good array of businesses and sectors, from telecoms to banking to power to hospitality and tourism to oil and gas and so on. And I think the upshot of it is that we told them that we're open for business, and they in turn are ready to come to do business with us.
It's not as much as what we've gained in terms of statistics, but I think it's what we've gained in terms of, the realities that we need to think our salvation out.
Yes, to up our game, first of all, we need to put in place a comprehensive industrial infrastructure. That is very fundamental.
Towards curtailing corruption in the system, the government also signed a bilateral agreement with Dubai, and for the first time in 16 years, Nigeria was conspicuously absent from the top most corrupt countries of the world. It is worthy of note that Nigeria has moved 2 steps upward among competitive economies in the world and exited recession with a GDP of 0.55% in the second quarter of 2017. Experts say with the abundant natural and human resources in the country, there are hopes for a better tomorrow. Chiazalam Ekie, NTA News.
Let's now take a look at some messages that trailed independence anniversary from various states, as the Delta State Governor, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, has urged Nigerians to rededicate themselves to the service of the nation so as to sustain the freedom fought for by our heroes past. Governor Okowa emphasized this at the 57th independence anniversary at the Asaba Cenotaph. Ifeoma Okafo reports.
The Federation of Nigeria was granted full independence on 1st October 1960 under a constitution that provided for a parliamentary government and a substantial measure of self-government. Delta State has joined other states to celebrate Nigeria's freedom from colonial rule. At the cenotaph, Asaba, an interdenominational Thanksgiving service was held to mark the day. Deltans prayed for peace and unity of the nation. Governor Fanyokoa inspected guard of honor mounted by the Nigerian police and to the salute as students, pupils, and corporate organizations engaged in a march past. Dr. Kowa said Nigerians should show gratitude to those who fought for independence by rededicating themselves to the service of the nation.
The 57th independence anniversary of our dear country, Nigeria. It is the day we got freedom from British colonial rule. The freedom did not come on a platter. It was the product of sustained struggle by the founding fathers of this great nation.
The occasion was also used to celebrate the victorious Team Delta, who won the 3rd National Youth Games in Ilori, Kwara State. The event was capped with traditional dances from various ethnic groups in Delta and the cutting of the anniversary cake. In Asaba, Ifoma Okafor, NTA News.
And in his independence anniversary message, Governor Umaru Tanko Al-Makura of Nasarawa State commends President Muhammadu Buhari, his pragmatic leadership, resilience and stoic stance against corruption, insecurity and commitment to diversifying the nation's economy. While felicitating with Nigerians, the governor praised to Almighty Allah to continue to strengthen the president with more wisdom and capability to propel Nigeria to greatness, make her one of the foremost viable economies in the world. By the same token, the governor identifies with the people of Nasarawa State for clocking 21 years since its creation in 1996, saying the journey so far has been eventful, considering development strides achieved in many areas of development. The governor reiterates the position of Nasarawa State on one indivisible country, saying unity in diversity is a source of strength for development in all ramifications, peaceful coexistence, and unity of purpose. Nigerians have been enjoined to continue to tell the path of peace and always promote positive values that would take the country forward. Oyo State Governor Abiola Ajimobi made the call at the 57th Independence Day anniversary march past in Ibadan. Ayo Ajibola reports.
The 57th Independent Anniversary celebration witnessed march past by police, paramilitary, voluntary organizations, and schools. Speaking education, Oyo State Governor Abiola Ajimobi, who read the president's speech, earlier urged Nigerians to support President Muhammadu Buhari in his effort at stopping corruption in the country, adding that with the current effort of the federal government at economic recovery, the nation is poised for greatness.
We are fully aware that fighting corruption was never going to be a straightforward task. We expected corrupt elements to use any weapon to fight back, mainly judicial obstruction and political diversion.
While applauding Nigerians for their understanding, Governor Ajimobi called for peace, unity, and stability of the country, irrespective of creed and tribe. The program with the theme, Youth and Economic Challenges, The Way Forward, featured presentation of gifts to outstanding schools during the march past, winner of the tug of war, and a cultural display. In Ibadan, Ayomiku Ajibola, NTA News.
Now, the people and government of Kwara State joined their counterparts across the country to celebrate the 57th anniversary of Nigeria's independence. Kwara State Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed enjoined Nigerians to be patriotic and shun acts capable of truncating the nation's unity, growth, and development. Hafiz Alaya completes the report.
Governor Ahmed, who was represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Alhaji Isiaka Gold, noted that in spite of all challenges, the continued existence of Nigeria as one indivisible and united entity worth celebrating. According to him, the all-embracing change agenda of the present administration is yielding results by transforming the nation to a more varied and economically developed one. Hence, the need to support government policies and programs on socio-economic and political development. He, however, challenged Nigerians to eschew ethno-religious bigotry and sectional interest that will impede the growth and progress of the country.
It is therefore incumbent on us all to jealously guard our freedom and do nothing that will complicate nationhood. To promote such factors that will sincerely sustain the hard-won freedom of our nationalists whose labor must not be in vain.
The occasion featured march pasts by uniformed men, primary and secondary school pupils from across the state. In Ilorin, Abdelafiz Alaya, NTA News.
We're not done with the celebrations. Governor Ambode still speaks on the same subject matter. Let's now join Ademola in Lagos for details and other stories. Well, Ademola, how has it been since October 1st?
Well, Lagos has been quiet because of the public holiday. Good afternoon and welcome to Lagos. Governor Akinwumi Ambode has urged Nigerians to demonstrate greater commitment to the unity and development of the country. Governor Ambode says this during the 57th Independence Anniversary in Lagos. Nosa Osola has the details.
The governor emphasized the need for Nigeria to remain united, pointing out that there are more to gain in unity as one nation than fragmented entities.
10 times we have seen terrible natural disasters happen in different parts of the world, but our country has been preserved from these adversities. This confirms my strong belief that our country is favored by God, and that as we thank him for what he has done, we will enjoy even more blessings.
Governor Ambode also advised Nigerians to imbibe the spirit of national service to take the country to the next level.
We pray that his goodness and mercy will not desert our nation and our states. We pray that he will continue to keep our nation in peace and grant us the wisdom and willpower to act right in the best interest of our nation and future generations.
In his sermon, Provincial Pastor of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Pastor Tunde Netufo, urged Nigerians to hearken to God and eschew bitterness, corruption, and every form of evil. In Lagos, Nosa Osula, NTA News.
The Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, has charged the graduates of the 42 refresher course to always put the unity and stability of the country first in their service to the nation. Inspector General of Police gave the charge at the passing out parade of the new recruits of the force at the Police College, Ikeja. Doindia reports.
Successful participants of the course 42 of the Nigerian Police College, Ikeja, warming up to be integrated into the Nigerian Police Force after the extensive and rigorous training. The Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, represented by the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of ICT, Folorunsho Adebanjo, thanked President Muhammadu Buhari for his approval of the new recruits and for his commitment towards reforming the force to an enviable height. He charged the new recruits to be disciplined and operate within the stipulated rules of engagement.
We are telling them all these things so that they know when they go out, they can now be part of the society and ensure that no human rights of the people are violated, and all of us coming together to ensure that the country is safe for all of us.
Nigeria is one united country. I'm appealing to all Nigerians. Let's come together, support the police in our areas.
We use that training to perform effectively in the society and do what is expected of us.
And the country to be at peace.
Highlights of the event were presentation of certificates and award of excellence to some outstanding recruits, as well as cultural performances in Lagos. Doing Dia, NTA News.
The Lagos State Police Command has set up an effective monitoring team to check acts of indiscipline and corrupt tendencies among its officers in the rank and file, with a view to getting rid of bad eggs in the command. Commissioner of Police Imohimi Edgar made this known while addressing residents and community leaders at a town hall meeting in Badagry. Musa Toliat completes the report.
The Lagos State Commissioner of Police Imohimi Edgar said the command is not unmindful of the excesses of some officers, especially when dealing with the public at various divisional police stations. He stressed that a dedicated team and phone numbers have been set up to promptly respond to complaints of residents, especially in the areas of payment for bail, police reports, and high-handedness in the command.
We have a lot of complaints that border on corruption and professional misconduct by policemen. We have decided to fight this frontally. The Citizens Complaint Report Center, I have policemen and women working there who will take your complaint in any of the 3 major languages in Nigeria.
Imohimi Edgar, however, urged residents to perceive crime reduction in the state as a collective responsibility which can only get better when they offer useful information on criminal activities in their communities. There were reactions to the pronouncements made by the Commissioner of Police on community policing and crime reduction.
With the system the new police commissioner is introducing now, it will assist the police to do their job diligently.
It's going to impact positively on the lives of people living from Badagry Aziks.
The Commissioner of Police later paid a courtesy call on the Palace of the Akran of Badagry to seek his support on community sensitization and policing. The town hall meeting is one in the series organized by the Commissioner of Police to promote police-community relations in Lagos State. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
And that does it from Lagos. It's back to you, Ogechi, for more on Nationwide. Good afternoon.
Yeah, thank you, Demola. Now, moving on now, Peace Building Enterprise has been identified as a catalyst for closing up the floodgate of extremist incursions of insurgents into Adamawa State. This came to fore at the one-day community stakeholders Peace Building Town Hall meeting in Mubi, Adamawa State. Mary Adamu reports.
The meeting was organized in Mubi for Bichika and Madagali by the Institute for Peace and Conflict Resolution in partnership with United Nations High Commission for Refugees and the Presidential Committee on Northeast Initiative. Madagali and Michika local government areas consist of multi-religious and multi-ethnic communities that have lived harmoniously over the years, thriving in commercial and agricultural activities in Nigeria and the Cameroon Republic before the activities of the insurgent. The peace building in AFO will foster confidence and trust among members of the two local governments. The town hall meeting is unique in the sense that women were at the front banner of the discussions to also contribute as mothers. Chairman of the Presidential Committee on Northeast Initiative, General T.Y. Njuma, represented by the Chairman Subcommittee on Security of the Presidential Committee on Northeast Initiative, Brigadier General Habila Vintanaba, said the meeting will facilitate expert community reconciliation and peacemaking process through mediation techniques, community-based framework for sustained reconciliation, and documenting communities for reconciliation and peacemaking. The Director General, Institute for Peace and Conflict Resolution, Professor Oshita, represented Mrs. Veronica Yohana, United Nations Human Rights Commission for Refugees, Field Office Adamawa, Chairman of Madagali and Michika all spoke on the need for understanding and tolerance among the people because peace building is cheaper than keeping. In Yola, Mary Adamu, NTA News.
In a related development, ethnic groups on the Mambila Plateau in Sadona local government area of Taraba State have resolved to live and coexist in peace for the area to foster reconciliation among the people after the last communal crisis in the area. Joseph Watson has the report.
Between June and July this year, the Mambila Plateau in Sadona local government area of Taraba State witnessed communal crisis as a result of land disputes. The violent clashes which led to loss of lives and destruction of property was put to stop after interventions from the state and federal governments. Efforts are still on ground to establish lasting peace and rebuild trust among the ethnic groups in the area. The latest is a town hall meeting which the Presidential Committee on Northeast Initiative, in collaboration with stakeholders, held with all the ethnic groups in Gembu, the headquarters of Sardauna local government area. Brigadier General Habila Vintanaba, who represented the chairman of the committee, General Theophilus Yakubu Danjuma, called on the tribes to eschew violence so that the rich resources in the area will be enhanced for their well-being.
It behoves on all of us, therefore, to ensure that we support the laudable program of the federal government to ensuring that the Mabila Hydro project comes to conclusion.
Representatives of the Institute for Peace and Conflict Resolutions, Dr. Mba Chukwuemeka, and the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, Daniel Bissell, underscored the significance of peace to human development.
Without peace, every other thing we feel that we will do, we will end up in frustration.
After hours of discussing the remote causes and possible solutions for the prevention of further crises, the participants resolved to live and coexist peacefully, calling on government at all levels to do their best to resettle the internally displaced persons and ensure that the perpetrators of the crisis are brought to book. From Gembu, Joseph Sound Oteng, NTA News.
Well, this is to remind you that you can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. Well, it's now time to take a break. Nationwide continues in a moment. Stick around.
Hate speech is not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
Under no conditions whatsoever should we tolerate or excuse or justify hate speech or hateful conduct of any kind, especially where such is illegal.
There's no doubt that the resurgent push for separatism, as well as the rising cases of ethnic and religious disharmony, are all traceable to the growing phenomenon of hate speech.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
Nigeria at 57, consolidating one united and indivisible nation. This is the focus on NTA Tuesday Live this week. Tuesday Live promises to be incisive, educating, and informative. Don't miss it.
We are quick to blame other people, the government, even animals and nature.
Government cannot be responsible for everything. Some of our problems is our own making.
Do you condemn other people for the vices you are guilty of? Do you have genuine papers for your daily dealings?
I have never seen a more useless, dysfunctional, impracticable driver's license. It's not even a passport-size photograph. It's a full size of a human being showing.
The list is endless. This episode is titled, What About You? Join us this week on your rib-cracking comedy, Professor Jumbo, and find out what bothers Godons as you laugh like never before.
I'm supposed to get a award for coping with this kind of living thing.
It's not even a living thing. It's a non-living thing.
Over and out.
Brought to you by Glow.
The largest data network. Glow Unlimited.
It's great to watch your favorite family shows, blockbuster movies, documentaries, and cartoons on StarTimes Combo Decoder. Actually, it's mind-blowing when you watch them in full HD. Come rain, come sunshine. StarTimes Combo Decoder guarantees an uninterrupted viewing experience. With the new StarTimes Combo Decoder, you can watch over 120 channels for as low as 5,900 Naira. Get the StarTimes Combo Decoder today and enjoy great entertainment for the entire family. StarTimes. Enjoy digital life.
Marketing in broadcasting requires some degree of specialized knowledge and skills, and it is a recognition of these that NTA Television College JAS is organizing an intensive 4-week course on modern trends in broadcasting media marketing. The course is going to be a knowledge-sharing class with emphasis on how best to meet the expectations of customers while remaining profitable. All participants will be exposed to emerging trends in broadcasting media marketing, aimed at equipping participants with new and robust skills in challenges of modern competition in the broadcast media marketing in Nigeria. Date 9th October to 4th November 2017. Venue NTA Television College, Rayfield, Jos. Fee 100,000 naira per participant. Accommodation inclusive. For more enquiries, contact us on 0806 980 9807, 0703 660 7155, or email us at ntacollege@gmail.com. NTA Television College, training you to be the best you can be.
Reorganized, trained, and fully equipped, we are the new improved Nigeria Police Force. We fight crime, we bust syndicates. Whatever the crime, wherever the hideout, the Nigeria Police Force will get you busted. Stop kidnapping, armed robbery, murder, pipeline vandalism, and other criminal activities. Be productive. Be security conscious. Join the police force to secure your life and property. This message is from the Nigeria Police Force Public Relations Department.
Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, Sir Ahmadu Bello, Chief Obafemi Awolowo.
These patriots worked together to achieve independence for one united Nigeria. Although some may say Nigeria is a mistake, we all know that the Almighty never makes mistakes.
God has not made a mistake by bringing us all together in the way that He has brought us together. God has put us together here so that we can build a community that will be an example to the entire world.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
We're glad to know you're still watching our live news telecast on Nationwide. Joining Kaduna now was the corporation there upgrades facilities. Abdullahi Mohammed is our guide. Hello, Abdullahi.
Hello, Gechi, and good to see you. As Nigeria clocks 57 years of independence, Christian clerics in Kaduna speak on the journey so far and give divergent views on the way forward towards ensuring a united Nigeria. Tina Turu reports.
The story of Nigeria is not an easy one, as the country has gone through different transitions in government. But despite challenges, the country has stood the test of time and remained indivisible.
We passed through a lot of rough road, but I can see a bright future for this country.
The challenges were not actually necessarily meant to break us, but they are to awaken us to our sense of responsibility.
Recent agitation in some parts of the country has become a source of concern to many Nigerians.
The agitation in all parts of the country, and what is causing that? Systemic injustice, perceived inequality, impunity, corruption.
There are many arguments about this restructuring that if we do it, it will better our lives. Let's look at it. You see, when we look at it and find out that the merits of it is higher than the demerit, we carry it. When we sit down together and look at it, the demerit of it is higher than the merit of it, we discard it.
But for desired results to be achieved, they insist that Nigerians must be ready to live in peace with one another. In Kaduna, Tina Turu, NTA News.
Moving on to defense matters now, Air Officer Commanding Air Training Command Kaduna, Air Vice Marshal Christopher Emeka Okoye, has tasked the Air Force community to redouble commitment to duty. He made the call during the Air Force 2017 third quarter route work at the Air Force Base, Kaduna. Benny Adams has details.
The 8-kilometer route walk started from the base main parade ground and routes the staff quarters through to the entrance of the base and back to the starting point. For the Air Force family, it is a tradition that promotes general fitness and encouraging esprit de corps as all units in the base come together, irrespective of rank, creed, or interest, to interact and keep fit. Air Vice Marshal Christopher Okoye is the Air Officer Commanding Air Training Command, Kaduna.
A healthy Air Force personnel is a productive Air Force personnel who contributes to the actualization of the visions of the Chief of the Air Staff and to a large extent in the Nigerian Air Force contribution to the defense of our country land.
The quarterly route walk is one out of several exercises the personnel embark upon to keep fit. In Kaduna, Benny Adams, NTA News.
And away from defense matters now, Kaduna State Media Corporation will soon get a state-of-the-art multi-billion naira studios and administrative blocks. This is a fallout of the signing of a memorandum of understanding between the state government and a construction firm which sets in motion the construction of the studios and administrative blocks. Tina Turu reports.
This is the proposed site for the new studios and administrative block for the Kaduna State Media Corporation. An idea which was conceived about 2 years ago is in line with the agenda of the present administration towards upgrading every sector in the state. Hence, the signing ceremony between the Kaduna State government and the construction firm that will handle the project. The project, which is expected to go.
We're sorry for the poor audio in that interesting report as we join Enugu now to also celebrate independence with the inauguration of an industrial park. Chinyere is our guide. Hello, Chinyere. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too, Paul, and welcome to Enugu. Enugu State Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi has commended President Muhammadu Buhari and Nigerians for upholding the ideals of country's founding fathers, especially those things that make the country great and united. The governor was speaking during the nation's 57th independence anniversary held at Michael Obara Square, Enugu. Ijoma Ugweke reports.
That inspection of guard of honor mounted by officers and men of the Nigerian police force by Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi kicked off the celebration of the 57th independence anniversary in the state. Governor Ugwuanyi acknowledged the efforts of the founding fathers for decolonization of the country from British rule. Despite the challenges confronting the nation, the governor said Nigeria has continued to remain one united entity.
Every Nigerian deserves justice, irrespective of his or her ethnic, political, and religious background. Do justice to your brother and sister. Do justice to your neighbor. Do justice to the stranger, and it shall be well with us.
The governor, while assuring the people of his administration's commitment to increase development of infrastructure, urged them to come out en masse to elect credible leaders during the forthcoming local government elections. Michael Obara Square, venue of the celebration, which commenced with a holy mass officiated by the Catholic Bishop of Enugu Diocese, Most Reverend Callistus Onaga, was filled to capacity.
God is God for everybody, and the diversity even of religions is the beauty of our identity.
The mass also featured a special thanksgiving by the governor, accompanied by other key players in the state. Special prayers were offered for the peace and unity of the nation Nigeria. The event also featured other activities that made the day grand. In Enugu, Ijoma Ugweke, NTA News.
Residents of Enugu Metropolis have continued to harp on the need for peaceful coexistence among the various ethnic groups in Nigeria, irrespective of language, culture, and religion. Peace, they say, is key to sustaining the indivisibility of Nigeria as a nation. Ngozi Silva Technical has details of this report.
Peace
is a virtuous attribute that is paramount to human existence, as the absence of it leads to violence and most often war.
Wherever there is justice, fair play, love, and understanding, I think peace will be achieved.
So in the community where there is problem, it is duty of the traditional ruler to summon for a family meeting, where all the families will sit down and discuss the problem on board. It's also the same thing in the nation.
They also speak on the colossal consequences of war, saying that utterances should be civil, as dialogue is the best approach to resolving conflicts.
When there is war or when there is no peace, you can't go forward in life.
Outlining some of the benefits of the nation's unity in diversity, they call for understanding, tolerance, justice, and fair play amongst all.
We should also remember that we are from one source, that we are in Nigeria as Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, is just a way to identify one another. But we are one family. We are all from Adam and Eve.
Set a committee to look into what is causing the agitation.
Going by the theme of this year's International Day of Peace, which is Together for Peace, Respect, Safety, and Dignity for All, it is expected that everyone around the world, especially in Nigeria, will make peace their watchword. In Enugu, Ngozi Silva Technical, NTA News.
Enugu State Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi has reaffirmed his commitment to the provision of infrastructure and enabling environment for investment to thrive in the state. The governor stated this during the inauguration of a 10-man committee for the establishment of an industrial park. Ijoma Ugweke has more.
The governor, represented by his deputy, said the inauguration became necessary to facilitate the smooth acquisition of a suitable land for the project at Emene and environs, adding that the industrial park will attract massive investment inflow, create huge economic value chain and employment opportunities.
We must actively interact with the affected communities at large to acquaint them with the intentions of the state government.
Chairman of the committee, Mr. Sam Obu-Nwobodo, commended the governor for the transformation going on in different sectors and assured the state government that the project, when completed, will be for the overall benefit of the communities and the state. Other committee members are commissioners for lands and that of works and infrastructure and traditional rulers. In Enugu, Ijomu Gweke, NTA News.
That's the much we have for you from here. It's back to you, Ogechi.
Thank you, Chinyere. Still talking investment matters. Nigeria is in the process of experiencing an industrial renaissance as the Presidential Initiative on Agricultural and Industrial Development team combs abandoned projects across the Niger Delta with the sole aim of resuscitating them to create jobs and boost the nation's economy. Delta State is the latest port of call, as Joseph Johnson reports that the mission is opening a new chapter for a closer state and federal relationship.
It requires teamwork to get the job done. The people in this investment summit knows just that. And that explains pretty much why these investors, Deltans, development partners, and of course the Diversification Initiative delegation led by the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Usani, are making frantic efforts towards getting rid of development obstacles in Delta State.
What we are trying to do is to ensure that beyond politics, it is not a matter of what party you belong to, and we do not want anybody, for whatever reason, partisan, to frustrate this effort, because at the end of it, it is the people, the Nigerian populace, that's expected to benefit from what we are doing.
Investors' presentations and their banners reflected the endless possibilities and advantages the state holds for their investments.
It is palpable that the big heart has over the years been punctured and in dire need of its pulsation. The challenges are huge, as are the expectations that with this visit, the state's ailing industries will breathe a sigh of relief and up and running soon for the benefit of the Deltans and, of course, Nigerians as a whole. From Warri, Delta State, Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
Thank you, Joseph. That's a special report on passenger manifest. This is coming from Jos with Caleb as our guide. Hello.
Hello, Gechi. Welcome to Jos. For Nigeria to remain united, committed, and formidable, everyone must be interdependent and indivisible. President, Evangelical Church Winning All, Reverend Jeremiah Gado, stated this at a special service held at Ekwa Headquarters Church to commemorate Nigeria's 57th independence anniversary. Bilkisu Nuhu has details.
Speaking on the topic, interdependence, the prerequisite for independence, Reverend Gado said as a nation, the need for all and sundry to be committed in ensuring that the unity of the country is not jeopardized.
What independence is, true independence is actually achieved when an organism, in this case Nigeria, works in harmony with all the parts contributing to the effective maintenance of the functions and the health of the organization.
In his message, Plateau State Governor Simon Bakolalong said in spite of the chaos the nation is passing through, Nigerians must remain committed to a united entity.
Our goal is to thank God that in Nigeria we are living together. We are living in unity and we are living peacefully.
Goodwill messages from representatives of the Bongom Jos and those of the security agencies on Plateau centered on the need for unity, peace and progress. Songs, ministration from various groups, prayer for forgiveness, reconciliation and unity of the church, citizens and the nation featured during the service.
We thank you for sustaining this nation by your grace. Thank you for sustaining this nation by your mercy.
From the Ekwa Headquarters Church, Bilkisu Nuhu, NTA News.
An appeal has been made to the federal government to approve the recruitment of 31,000 police officers yearly for the next 5 years to make the Nigerian police operate within the United Nations approved policing ratio of 1:400. Inspector General of Police Ibrahim Idris made the call at the graduation ceremony of 491 officers at the Police Training School, Bauchi. Correspondent Babayo Tafida Misau completes the report.
Represented by the Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of Zone 12, Bauchi, Babatijani, the Inspector General said currently Nigeria is operating below the approved United Nations ratio. He, however, expressed appreciation to President Muhammadu Buhari for approving the recruitment of 10,000 police officers and providing an enabling environment for the police to perform its constitutional functions. The IG further said, as part of efforts to make the police operate within the limits of the law, such as the Police Act and regulations, different types of training were being organized for the officers to instill in them the culture where the rule of law forms the bedrock of their actions.
Police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that the rule of law prevails in our actions and activities.
Highlights of the event was passing out parade by the graduates. In Bauchi, Babeto Fidemiso, NTA News.
Road transport data from the National Bureau of Statistics indicates that 2,673 Nigerians lost their lives in the first and second quarters of 2017. Due to the high cases of road traffic accidents and for easy identification of victims, the federal government introduced the passenger data known as Passengers Manifest. Abdul Wahab Babankanti has more on this.
This means of transportation is road, and it accounts for the highest fatality rate. Since travel is a must, and road crashes cannot be completely eliminated, the place of passenger manifest is therefore vital. The sector commander, Plateau State Command of the Federal Safety Corps, Patricia Emodi, explained that filling passenger manifest at parks is not a thing of choice.
We have officers that are assigned to many of the major parks. They go and talk to them on the need to have a passenger manifest. And of course, when they meet our people on the highways, the first thing we ask, one of the first things we ask for is the passenger manifest, once it's a public commuter bus.
The sector commander alleged that most passengers refuse filling the manifest on account of flimsy excuses, and many of those who fill the form give false information about themselves. On the other hand, she blamed some of the drivers, whom she said do not make the passengers' manifest available.
NURTW hold our parks before you load from any park to where you can go. You must put your name in our passenger manifest. So there are some people that they are not our members. They carry people along the road. They claim that they are our members, but they are not our members.
Even though you did not load in our motor parks, when you get your passengers either inside the town, when you are coming to the park, you must come and write the manifest before leaving the park. That's our policy.
Every passenger's manifest provide a column for passengers to give details about themselves. In Jos, Abdullah Babankanti, NTA News.
That's our package from Jos. Ogechi, it's back to you. From Jos. Ogechi, it's back to you.
Thank you. Talking diplomacy now, what has been the foreign policy of Nigeria 57 years on? I promise to ensure true collaborations in bilateral and a lot other ties with other nations of the world. The country over time has recorded tremendous benefits in its bilateral ties. This special report, Abigail Ngoke unfolds the journey so far on Nigeria's international relations.
Ties between Nigeria and other countries dates back to independence, with Jaja Nwachukwu being the first Minister of Foreign Affairs and Commonwealth Relations, later called External Affairs. Since then, Nigeria's foreign policy has been characterized by a focus on Africa as a regional power, African unity and independence, capability to exercise influence in the region's peaceful settlement of disputes in the internal affairs of other nations.
Nigeria is keen is one of the things we do in Africa to make sure that there is peace everywhere and to support to ensure that there is peace in that country.
In carrying out these principles, Nigeria extended diplomatic support to another cause, stalled the South African apartheid in 1977 under General Olusegun Obasanjo military regime. In 1983, Nigeria withdrew from supporting any apartheid government in Africa. It assisted Zimbabwe movement against the apartheid government of Rhodesia and fought for South Sudan independence, to mention but a few.
We can say we have made a tremendous achievement in terms of international and foreign relations.
Nigeria always distinguished itself. They have succeeded in restoring peace to Somalia. They've contributed to peace in Liberia, contributed to peace in Sudan, and the international community has given several military or police officers medals.
Aside the country's relations with African nations, Nigeria as well built strong ties with China, Germany, Japan, amongst others. But what's their impression about the country, Nigeria?
Nigeria is a very important country to us. And as you know, we have got so many issues on bilateral relations, such as issues, for instance, to support South Sudan, especially in the path of peace. And Nigeria also is a member of the IGAD+.
Besides these achievements, records show that Nigeria is one of the founding members of the Organization for African Unity, OAU, now the African Union. In addition, experts say Nigeria's role in creating ECOWAS will not be forgotten due to the role it played in achieving economic development.
As the world continues to grow, Nigeria is becoming a key player on the international stage. Analysts say if only the country can maintain its current foreign policy, it will go a long way in enhancing economic, cultural, and political developments. In Abuja, Obiageli Ugoke, NTA News.
Talking sports now, over 150 golfers participated in the Independence Cup Golf Tournament at the IBB International Golf and Country Club, Abuja. Sorileza Amaka wins Independence Day Tennis Championship. Then Desani has details on our sports update.
Over 150 Nigerian golfers and their counterpart from Achimota Golf Club, Accra, Ghana, converged on the IBB International Golf and Country Club, Abuja, Monday for the Independence Cup Golf Tournament. The 18-hole tournament is part of activities to mark Nigeria's independence by the club annually.
Despite all the challenges and trials, we have remained as one. So this independence anniversary, the 57th, is an opportunity for us to tell the whole world that Nigeria is one and united.
We are celebrating Nigeria, trying to bring back the unity. Nigeria has to be one, so it has to be celebrated.
City Sports Club Monday in Abuja held a one-day tennis tournament in commemoration of Nigeria's 57th independence anniversary, with Cyril Eziamaka emerging champion after gathering a total of 12 points in 2 rounds of American doubles. Participants at the tournament seized the occasion to encourage the use of sport as a major unifying factor amongst Nigerians.
Governments and spirited Nigerians, network Nigerians should help to promote sports, especially when you look at the percentage of youths in this country.
Following the invitation of the Nigerian national beach volleyball teams to participate in the qualifiers of the Commonwealth Games in Sierra Leone later this month, the Nigeria Volleyball Federation is set to organize an open trials for the male and female teams in Kaduna from 5th to 8th October to select players for the qualifiers, with campaign to commence on the 11th of October. With Sport Update, Dainde Sunny, NTA News.
Well, let's now take a quick look at the weather prospects for tomorrow. Just before we go, there's a quick reminder that you can watch all our stories and much more when you log on to our website, www.nta.ng. Well, and that's nationwide. We do expect you to maintain the peace while the holiday lasts. Thanks for watching. I'm Ogechi Paul once again.